Hi, I'm Tim Dowd. I'm here with Reilly Brown, co-creator of Power Play and St. George, as well as the current artist of Lobo. How you doing, Reilly?
I'm doing really well.
All right. Now, we're here at the New York Comic Con 2014, and I want you to tell the folks at home, for those who have, the fools who have missed out on Power Play and St. George, I want you to tell them a little bit about the books.
Well, Power Play, it's a story about a bunch of kids who get superpowers, but instead of trying to take over the world or trying to fight crime, they start an extreme sports league. And it's much more, me and my buddy Kurt Christensen came up, he's the writer, I'm the artist, and we came up with the idea because we were just like thinking about how, like, if kids actually got superpowers these days, there's no way they would have secret identities. They'd be making videos of themselves, putting it up on YouTube, and trying to like get the biggest fan following and stuff like that. And I just, so that's what the series kind of became. And we released it through Comixology because this was a couple years ago, before Comixology became everything it is today. And I felt like there was a real opportunity that was being missed, because with so many comics are read digitally now, I felt like there was a chance to make the format really speak to a digital reading audience. And so many comics are just so many digital comics are just print comics that are kind of crammed into your iPad or onto your screen or something like that, when that's not really the way they were meant to be read. They were meant to be read on paper. So I said, if people are reading it on the screen, let's use that and use that to help tell the story. So we were kind of the first, or one of the first comics to do that, before Marvel started doing their Infinite comics and before Batman started doing, or DC started doing Batman 66. So we were kind of like the trailblazers in that, and that's kind of a cool distinction to have for the series.
You asked for royalties for that now that you set that format down?
Yeah, that's right. I should own the whole thing, right?
It's like, oh, Batman 66 is making quite a bit of money for me. No.
Yeah, right. I think Comixology claims that, and they get that money. So I know, right?
Okay.
You're breaking my booth.
I'm sorry. It'll be fixed.
But then Marvel did have me do their digital Deadpool series, Deadpool the Gauntlet, and with Jerry Duggan, and that was a ton of fun. So I was able to take what I learned on Power Play and apply it to my Deadpool work. So.
All right, and St. George?
Yeah, and St. George, that's a series that me and Fred Van Lente are working on for Dark Horse, and the first few chapters have come out in Dark Horse Presents, and we're planning on doing more. It's just about finding the time to do it between Deadpool and Lobo and everything else, but it's definitely still something we're working on.
All right. Now, so in the last 5 years, I'd say, you've gone from creator-owned, self-published work kind of through Comixology, and I believe it was digital only for Power Play.
Yes.
And now you've ended up now here writing for Lobo, drawing for Lobo rather, for DC Comics in a relatively short amount of time, going from one to the other.
Well, actually, no, I worked for Marvel before that. Before I worked on Power Play, I was writing and drawing Cable and Deadpool.
Okay.
So and then in SpiderMan and all sorts of things. So I did have experience before Power Play.
Right. Well, then my whole question just gets thrown out the window, but I'm going to try to ask it anyway. But what do you feel the differences in working with something as cutting edge, I'd say, as like the digital only Power Play, and then going to something in a bit more of a traditional comic book format as Lobo?
It's interesting when I change format. Like I said, when I did the digital thing, I wanted to do a digital comic that takes advantage of the digital format. So then coming back to print, I was like, well, let's do a print comic that takes advantage of print, and let's do like panel layouts and stuff that won't work on a digital screen. So there are a lot more full page spreads or panels that like are diagonal or not screen shaped, and that's kind of fun to play around with. And it's just kind of, I learned to appreciate each medium and what works best for each one.
All right, great. Any last words to people at home? Anyone will plug for where they can find you, follow your stuff?
Certainly, yeah. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, DeviantArt, all the regular social media sites. ReillyBrownArt.com. That's kind of my homepage. You can pick up my original artwork from my art dealer, Anthony Snyder. And I'm working on Lobo now for the next few months, and that's kind of what's keeping me busy at the moment. So.
Great. I'm Tim Dowd. This is Reilly Brown. Lobo in stores now, and we are trapped in the review zoo.